Molly McTaggart, will you come on and sit down? It doesn't matter. Okay, Beth Grady. And the old man. Okay, Molly, is your husband guilty of the brutal murder of King Duncan?
No, he's not.
And why not?
Because he's so loyal to his king, he'd never do such a thing.
Oh, is there any question that you might be trying to cover up something?
No, not at all. I know that he was always been loyal and he'd do anything for his king.
Okay, do you believe the same person who killed Duncan killed your husband?
Yes.
Oh, can you stand on that?
Because I think my husband was framed, so of course the one who killed Duncan would try and frame it on him.
Okay. Where? Now, back. You? Okay, this is you. Okay, where was your fiancé on the night of the murder?
At home in bed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who do you believe was responsible for your fiancé's death?
I don't know, when I find that asshole, I'm gonna kick his head in.
Okay. Can you describe the state of the environment on the night of Duncan's murder?
It was weird. It's like this. It's like the storm was brewing or something. The horses were going wild. The owls were chasing the bull. It's just like something evil is happening.
Oh, can you go into a bit more detail?
It's like the horses. They trying to break the loose. So like they're breaking away from the training that the way of life and so on that they've been living all their life since they're born to the present time.
Do you think the nature on that night provided any clues as to who was the killer?
Not clues towards who is the killer, but clues that something has happened.
Well, we already know something is happening. That's okay. I think I did this a bit too fast, but any questions? I know you guys have questions.
I have a question I'd like to ask. I'm a reporter from the Scotland Gazette, and I'm just trying to get the facts cleared here. I'd like to address this question towards Beth. Beth, was your husband killed?
My husband is my fiancé.
Excuse me, I'll correct it in my notes. Was your fiancé killed on the same night that King Duncan was killed?
Unfortunately, yes.
Now you said that your fiancé was where that night?
With me in bed.
Well, that's a little note for the social column, I guess. But aside from that, how did your fiancé's dead body get to be beside King Duncan's then?
He went out to get because of milk for me because I was, I needed milk. So went out to get milk and it turned and I got worried. So I was looking out of our quarters and I just found out he was lying beside King Duncan.
I'm sorry to aggravate this. I don't mean to help you to be emotional. Okay, thank you. That's any other questions?
Great. Okay. What should I do? Go on to the next segment?
Well, how about we missed out on the timeline? So how do these guys do? Now that we've had an introduction,
Oh, yeah. And here are Victor and Jennifer up to do the timeline.
Okay, well, we start off with Macbeth and
You talk to us.
give me a second.
They turn around.
Okay, we start off with Macbeth, Duncan, and the soldiers winning the war. And then the next major thing is Duncan and Macbeth encounter the witches and they start talking about what's going to happen in the future. And Macbeth finds out that Malcolm is the next heir and he becomes very jealous. And after that, Macbeth writes a letter to Lady Macbeth explaining how he feels about fighting the war and everything. And then Duncan stays at Macbeth's because Macbeth invited him there. And then the next big step, Duncan dies.
Any questions about the timeline? He has the two.
Victor, when Macbeth and Lady Macbeth's plotting was Duncan's death be a major factor of the timeline?
I guess it would be, but I guess we just missed out. What happened?
Oh, we have the mic up there.
Victor, isn't it true that Macbeth wasn't the one that invited him, but Duncan invited himself?
It might have been true, but it might have been a lie too. I don't know.
A lie? Well, I do know for sure because it's in the book.
You read the wrong book then.
Well, would you like me to prove it to you?
No, that's fair away.
Okay, these are good clarifying questions. Any other questions?
Here, how about with Duncan? He said he was with Macbeth with the witches, but Duncan was at his castle.
It was
Or
Malcolm.
was Malcolm, sorry. Or whatever.
Right, okay, let's get these facts straight. It was
Sorry.
Macbeth and Banquo that fought the war, and Macbeth and Banquo that met the witches.
Yeah.
Now, Jennifer or Victor, what news do the witches give to Macbeth and Banquo?
Well, like that Macbeth would become king, like in a trial, and that I can't remember the rest of it, but I know that was one.
Macbeth would be king of the outdoor, and that would be king of Banquo, and Banquo would be father.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Knox and Banquo. Also, I'd like to announce that my two timeline people are now, as of now, fired. Because they did a real shitty job. Okay, now, the first questions I'd like to address are to McDuff. Who's McDuff?
Me.
Oh, okay. Nice meeting you, McDuff. Okay, can you describe the body of the deceased Duncan? Like, how did he look like? Was it really gory?
Oh, it was sick, man. Like, there were stabs in his head. There was blood all over the bed and everything.
Yeah? How many stab wounds were there?
I don't know. I couldn't count. There was so much blood all over the place.
Did you notice any abnormal constituency to this leg? Like, was it red or was it green?
What do you think?
I have no clue. I wasn't there. You're not supposed to be asking me questions. Go, girl! Okay, what did the scene of the crime look?
I don't know. Looked like someone came in and killed him.
Well, I'd like you to get some details, you know? We don't just pay you to sit up here and say, I don't know.
Well, his eyes was rolling back in his head, if you want to know.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
He was blue.
Yeah, what did the room look like? What was around the room?
I don't know, just one big pile of blood in the middle, and
I know, but what was in the room?
blood.
That's it?
My later blood.
Okay, anyways, I can see we're getting nowhere with this, so I think we'll move on to our next guest, Lennox. Hi. How long do you estimate the body was dead when you arrived?
Approximately anywhere from 2 to 6 hours.
Yeah, how did you determine that?
By the temperature of the body, the blood, whether or not it was dried up or anything.
I see. Who's on your suspect list right now? Like, who do you suspect is responsible for it?
Right now we suspect Macbeth.
Why is that?
Because there were a lot of things that he said and things that he did or he says he did that don't add up.
Okay. Do you know if anyone else would like to kill Duncan, do you think?
He seems to have been a very noble king, so we don't think of anyone else yet, but we have a few possibilities in mind.
Okay. Why would Macbeth have killed Duncan? Yeah, that's it.
That is something we don't know right now.
Oh, okay. Now, Lennox. I'm so sorry. Okay, Banquo. What was the nature of this crime? Well, you seem to be a very, shall we say, competent official in... Competent. Do you have an alibi for the night of the murder?
Yep.
Where were you?
I was outside walking across the courtyard and I called my sword and I heard a noise.
Is there anyone who can confirm your alibi?
The guy that brought me the sword.
And who is that?
My son.
Okay. Oh. Who do you believe had the most reason to kill Duncan?
Macbeth. What? You don't talk about a man like that.
Okay, where am I? Okay. Why do you believe Macbeth was responsible?
Not because of the witches' predictions. They said that Macbeth would be king. Now the king's dead. There's a chance.
But those witches could be fakes.
Yeah, but I could have believed them so much that they went out and murdered him so that he could be king.
Oh yeah. Okay. I never thought of that. Sorry, I'm just the host. I don't have to think. Now, any questions?
Yeah, I do. Okay, this question goes to Lennox. You said earlier that our dear friend Macbeth here is suspected of the murder, and you told us that he did things and said things that is the reason why you suspect him. Could you give us examples of what he did and what he said that night?
Well, in one case, Macbeth was told about the murder of Duncan, and he was really, really surprised and astonished and upset that Duncan was murdered. And then later on, when he was talking to, I can't remember who, but he had said that he killed the servants because he saw them with blood on them or something like that, and he figured that they had killed Duncan, so he killed them. And if he was so surprised that Duncan was dead, how could he kill the servants without knowing?
Well, don't you think that Macbeth would be afraid that since the attendants killed Duncan, that he might be afraid that they killed him too, so he'd act as instinctively? Exactly, thank you.
I think there's a normal reaction. There's nothing weird about that.
It could be, but also, according to what Banco has just told us about a witch's prediction, he has he's the only person right now who looks like he could have committed the crime.
Banco, did you tell her about the witch's prediction yet?
Nope.
There you go.
I just found out right now. We still haven't questioned Macbeth on where he was at the time, and whether or not he is an alibi.
Okay, I
question for Macduff. Banco and Lennox say that Macbeth is suspected. Who do you think?
I don't know, there's those two little bastards that took off. They came sons or whatever.
Can I say something? Why do you guys always blame me? And I was with my woman in my bed. Yeah, leave us alone.
Macbeth, you'll get your chance later. We'll make sure that justice occurs here.
That's right.
Okay, another question at the front here.
I have a question about the time of death, and I believe you're the one who found the king dead.
Yeah.
What time did you enter this room at, or can you give me an approximate time?
I don't know, somewhere early in the morning.
After you read.
Who is the first person you told, or you told?
Well, I didn't really tell anybody. I just told them to go look for themselves what happened. Like, when they're like, holy sh.
Okay. I have a question. Macbeth, you were asked what the scene of the crime looked like, and I was surprised, again, I'm the reporter, in case you forgot. I was surprised that you didn't mention that there were two servants in the room. Or were they not there when you looked in?
I can't remember because I was so shocked at what happened.
Not only the death of the king itself would have caused you incredible confusion.
Yeah.
I would like to know why the
Oh,
horse
and
is
then
so
Macbeth
rude that
left
there's people on the panel because they come over.
I'm-
I root them because they don't know what they're talking about.
You should.
I didn't say all hosts, okay?
You're not really.
Bastards. Get up there.
Did anybody witness like Macbeth killing the servants?
No.
Nobody witnessed it?
We have no witnesses here. We haven't been able to find. We're not saying that they don't exist, but we haven't been able to locate them.
So there was somebody with Macbeth when he killed the servants?
We don't know.
We don't know. We've tried to, like, as the show that person, we've tried to like find someone, but we couldn't find it. So as far as we know, no.
So Macbeth was maybe left in the room and then the servants could have been sleeping and then he killed them?
That could be a possibility. Is this it?
Yep.
Time for commercial break.
This is for place.
Okay, I'd like to
Eat your Wheaties.
Okay. I'd like to welcome our next three guests. I mean two, sorry. Malcolm and Donald Bain.
Now, what is deceiving about these two guests is that they are actually not here in body. Okay, their bodies are not here. You're seeing them via a TV circuit. One of you is in Ireland. Which one of you is in Ireland?
That's me.
And one of you is in England?
That's
Okay,
you.
well, welcome here.
Okay, Malcolm, who had the guts to and the motive to kill your dad?
The guts and the motive?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think neither of us. Maybe Donald's saying more than me. Hey, I'm next in line to be in the throne. Why would I have to kill my dad? And if I was going to kill him, why would I do it in Duncan's castle? Obviously, I mean, Macbeth's castle, obviously he trusts me more and I'm the next in line, so I could have done it anywhere, like lure him to a forest or something and kill him. I wouldn't have to do it in a public place.
Actually, what I meant was who of your dad's associates? I'm not accusing you. Who that your dad knew would want to kill him and would have the guts to. That's what I was asking.
Well, I think Macbeth, since it's in his own castle, and I think he was spotted walking around like somewhere in the middle of the night.
I see. Do you know who spotted him?
Yes, I think it was Banquo and somebody else. Banquo and Macbeth.
Well,
Banquo and his son.
Franco was just on here and he never said anything about that.
Well, nobody asked him.
Oh. Okay, was Macbeth his only known enemy?
I don't think the king knew who his enemies were, obviously, because...
Okay. Donald, are there any family problems, secrets, or scandals that would shed some light on this crime?
No, because Duncan was a very loved king. Me and my Donovan, we didn't do it.
Any questions?
Yeah, I do.
Always.
Okay. When she asked you the first question, all of a sudden you jumped at her, and why would you do that if you feel so conscious? Because it seems like everybody's accusing us, and of course, why would you leave the country if you guys didn't? We left because since our father got killed, we're like closest led him, so we're next in line. But wouldn't you want to stay and? We know that if we run, then we'd be the first suspects. But then if we don't run, then we'll get killed. So what are you supposed to do if you were in my shoes? You'd be safe first and then collect some evidence, you know, instead of staying and get killed and not.
My question's for Malcolm. You said that you guys were considered suspects if you guys hadn't ran, or if you guys, since you guys have nobody so far as mentioned you or Donald Dane as suspects, why do you guys think that just because you ran, if your story is true, that you are afraid of being murdered if you're next on the throne?
Well, it's obvious that we're suspects already since we ran. I mean, we pieced things together.
Well, then why would you come on the Rob Roy show so everyone would know where you are? So if somebody wanted to kill you, or if somebody wanted to prosecute you for this murder, they would come find you.
Well, we want to prove our innocence. We want to have our say. And this way we're safe because we're out of the country.
If you want to prove your innocence, why did you stay and prove it to the officials instead of running off to Ireland and England?
Because we'll be killed after all the hassle. We weren't sure if the murder was still at large.
How do you know you're going to get killed?
Woohoo! Awesome.
We
How
don't.
did you know that you're going to get killed?
Well, how did our father know? He didn't. We don't know if we're going to get killed or not. And obviously, our father trusted the wrong person.
Well, that's just a chance you guys have to take.
Well,
You can't run and hide your fears.
our father just got killed. We have to get out of here. We have to get out so we can revenge his death.
Wait, this question's for Duncan. I highly suspect him because I think Malcolm's life is in danger because Malcolm's next in line, and if he gets rid of Malcolm, then Donald will have the crown for himself. And he hasn't said anything, he's just sat there with this little conspicuous and he's not defending himself either, so.
Yeah, but I've been, well,
Come on.
you guys are blaming me that I bribed the servants to kill my father.
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
what you did? Did you bribe them to kill him?
Why?
I don't think the servants killed my father because if they did, they wouldn't have done it at that castle. And if they did, they would have took off already. Why would they just hang around there?
A good question. Why would you guys suspect Macbeth? You said earlier, Malcolm, that you suspected Macbeth in the murder of your father. Why? You never really clarified that.
Because he was suspicious walking around at night. Plus, he was there when the servants got killed.
What were you
And it
doing?
was at his own castle, no home.
But what were you doing at the time? If Macbeth was wandering in the halls in the middle of the night, why were you outside? Why did you see this? What were you doing?
We were asleep.
Then how do you know Macbeth was in the hallways?
I read the book. So, I don't know.
Banquo told you, didn't he?
Well, I think it was either Bango or whatever
Big
told
dog.
me because they were.
Okay, a few minutes ago you said that if the killers did kill, well, whoever killed Duncan would have ran away, right?
That's what you guys just did. So you proved yourself. You just said that whoever killed Duncan would run away, and that's what you guys did. You guys ran away.
Why would we be? We were asleep when my dad got killed, and then Macbeth woke us up, and then we took off.
Oh, how do we know that you guys were sleeping?
Oh, Macbeth woke us up.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you could have fallen.
In defense of the two people on trial here, I must say that they were also, there was a guard in front of the king's room at all times, the porter, correct? How, wouldn't he know who was in and out of the room? And how could these two, or would they have servants themselves guarding their doors?
I think he snuck out. Yes.
Okay, you said that they told you that Macbeth would watch around at night. Well, how come you know what was he doing that could have been Bagel that killed?
Right now we're not. Right now we're not sure about my father. If we did, then
Bring him.
Okay, since you guys are like rich people here, and you know, we're all
You're the
castle. Hey, anyways, you guys probably killed your father to take over your assets, your riches, because you guys are very wealthy and you own Scotland and everything. So you guys knocked off your dad just to take the hair of everything, just to get everything, the money and everything.
I'm next in line. I'm his son. I get everything anyways.
Yeah, you
Out
want
his
it
tracks.
now, though. See, you want all your riches now, not later.
Wouldn't your father have wanted you to stay inside of Scotland and take his place on the throne since you were next in line rather than run away? He chose you to
We
be heir.
didn't know who the killer was yet, so we had to get out of there and collect some evidence.
Wouldn't it have made your father more proud if you would have stayed and would have tried to find out while you were there than run away trying to prove your innocence a few thousand miles?
We can't revenge his death, and we can't risk losing our lives, because we're the only heirs to that throne.
I'm sure your father would have wanted you guys to stay in.
About fleeing, if it was my position, I would probably flee myself. I mean, the murder is so large, no one has defended them. They don't know. If you're a good king, you would leave and be safe in order to save your country. You don't want to kill or get yourself killed, so of course you're going to run away, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, Kiwi.
Are you guys coming back to reclaim your throne?
Oh, man. As soon as we find out who the murderer is, then we'll come back.
Well, I might not, because in Ireland I just bought a soap factory and a waterfall, and I might just call it Irish Springs.
Okay.
Wait, Marco. Okay, why would you guys run away? What if the murderer just had vengeance against your father in specific, just him, and not anyone who is king?
Well, if we don't know who he is, we can't ask him that question. We don't know who he wants to kill next.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Oh, Big Duff has one.
I think that soap factory you're talking about is nothing but an excuse to cover up for yourself, so there.
Who's next? Any more questions?
No.
I guess I'll stop.
Okay, our next guest. Listen to Rob. Okay, our next guests are Lady Macbeth and Macbeth.
Oh, man, let's go.
Right here. Okay. Whoever.
Going on TV. Okay, take out my form.
Did you want your husband to be king enough to hypnotize him to do it? I'm asking him. Okay, I'm not going I thought he was Lady Macbeth. Okay, never mind. Okay. Lady Macbeth, did you want your husband to be king enough to hypnotize him to murder Duncan?
What? That's who?
Him!
What are you talking about?
To
I
murder?
didn't hypnotize nobody.
No?
No?
Can you prove that?
Can you prove that I did?
Hey, up, girl!
Macbeth, do you believe that Lady Macbeth influenced you to kill Duncan?
No.
Okay. There's all these experts out here that saying, you killed Duncan, you killed Duncan, you killed Duncan. And they have all these little facts that lead me to believe that you are the killer.
Facts, they're thoughts.
Well, like, no one was in there.
I haven't been on trial yet. Excuse me.
Yes.
That's right. Yet.
Yeah. But there, who could have, you killed the servants. What's to
How you
make
know I
us-
killed them? Were you there?
You said it.
How do we know you didn't kill him?
Yeah, no kidding.
I had no part of this. I was not in the country.
How do we know that?
Go to the immigration office, man.
Perhaps the guests should cooperate a bit more.
Sure.
Try the servant question again. That's good.
The servant. Who could have, if you would have killed if you killed the servants, why wouldn't you kill Duncan?
Why didn't I kill the servants? Because they were accused of killing Duncan. So I just rightfully executed them.
So you would like a fair trial? You just said you're not
That's
convicted
right.
yet,
That's right. Well, that's right.
but you're not willing to give the servants a fair trial?
I was listening to my girl. What were you saying? Okay, what?
I don't want these guests anymore. They can like go off the show now.
They're the most important people.
Okay. Macbeth, how can you explain the missing links in your story when you were really surprised when Macbeth told you about Duncan's death? You were astonished, you were upset, you had no idea it happened, and then all of a sudden you confessed to killing the servants because you saw them walk out of Duncan's room with blood? How can you explain that?
Say what?
Did they walk out of the room or were they still in there?
They were still in there. Well, they were lying in front.
What were you doing?
In front of the chamber more or less.
How could they be lying there if you wanted to kill them?
You didn't kill him.
He already confessed.
No, he didn't. You misheard.
He told me.
Well.
Okay, we're all focusing everything on Macbeth. I want to ask Lady Macbeth, where were you when the murder happened?
I was him.
You were with him where?
Dead, I guess.
You're not supposed to say that.
And I was told that you fainted while everybody was talking. Why would you do that?
Because I fainted and took me to bed. And you were in the bed.
Who meant the body first? Was it you or Macbeth?
I think it was Macbeth.
Didn't Lady Macbeth faint after she found out about the death?
Yes, I think so. I'm not sure. I was talking to everyone else.
Isn't it convenient, Lady Macbeth, isn't it convenient that you seem to fade just as people are starting to talk to Macbeth about the murder of Duncan? The moment that he seemed to get turned on to Macbeth, you just happened to faint.
I fainted because it's a tragic thing, you know. Friend Duncan
Why did it
dying,
take-
you know.
Then why did it take you about 10, 15 minutes after you found out about Duncan's death?
Because that's when it really hit me, you know. Slow, a little slow.
Macbeth, you're like the leader of an army, aren't you?
Yep, I think so.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
How old are you,
Why? Because they were accused of killing Duncan since they had blood to their own.
So I can accuse you of killing Malcolm, Duncan, and a servant, and then I can go and kill you, and I'll get off scot free.
Go for it.
What?
Next. That's right, my girl is gonna get all you guys.
Macbeth, wasn't it said that you said to, I think it was Banquo or someone, that you saw the servants leaving Duncan's room with blood on them, and that is why you killed them. And you just said that they were accused of killing Duncan. It seems to me that you were the one who accused them without anyone else knowing.
I don't recall any of this. Next question.
I'm gonna be in defense again.
Hang on.
There were pig-selling people. I'm gonna say about servants being killed because of the traumatic shock. Macbeth must have been. Did you kill the servants because it was just because you needed someone to blame? Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
active rage because
when
he's
you
my
are not,
kinsman.
when
He's
you
a
see
fellow family member.
Nobody gets away with that.
What if the servants have to gain by killing the king?
They did it in act of revenge.
Why? What for?
Why?
Treat him like
Because,
that.
yeah, mistreatment. They didn't pay him high enough.
My fiance told me that King Duncan was the best lawyer he ever had. Duncan used to give my fiance food and drink to us when I was really sick and couldn't afford anything. Now, I don't understand why would they do it out of revenge? Because he's so helpful and nice. Yeah, I'd kill everyone that's nice to me.
Well, don't worry, I'll get you something nice. Okay, next.
What can you say about the prophecies the three witches made
I
to
don't
you
believe
and
in witches.
Banquo?
I don't believe in Halloween, okay?
Lady Macbeth, what do you think about the prophecies that Macbeth would become king?
I don't know.
How did that make you feel?
Not what?
That the witches prophesied Macbeth to be king.
I didn't believe any of it. They just.
Please, we just came from the funeral. We had some wine and stuff, so please, we're kind of tipsy right now.
Macbeth, how come there was no blood on you after you killed the servants? How come there was no blood on you after you killed the servants?
Because I washed it off.
Because he's good at it.
Oh, he's good at it, really.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, man.
Macbeth, I have a question for you. Often at traumatic times like this, people have interesting dreams, or sometimes they see things that they don't otherwise see. Have you been having any visions or dreams that are out of the ordinary?
Not that I recall. I was mostly intoxicated during the time, so.
Everyone has visions when you're intoxicated.
If you were intoxicated, how do you know you didn't kill Duncan?
You remember this guy.
I thought you both were intoxicated.
Well, I have a good memory. I'm intoxicated.
Okay, at the murder, you weren't with Lady Macbeth. You were by yourself.
Which murder?
My fiance,
Oh,
my
okay, yeah, so,
husband, and
yeah.
king.
What king?
Well, I guess not.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel to be king now?
Huh?
He's
Oh,
not king yet.
okay. Pretty good.
Well, he's going to be king.
It's, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of a sorrow for my kinsman to be killed in that, but since two little brats split the country, I'll take the crown graciously in the honor of Duncan.
I'll fight you, actually.
Can anyone prove that you two were together at the time of Duncan's death, otherwise than each other? Because if Macbeth did kill Duncan, then Lady Macbeth could be in on the conspiracy.
Well, there's a videotape, but that's not
And Macbeth, what were you doing in the hallways when you stumbled upon the servants?
The servants?
Yes, what were you doing in the wandering
I was
hallways?
getting a glass of water. Thank you. Next.
Anyone else?
He killed servants after he heard of your death. Therefore, that's irrelevant to your question you asked.
No, he
You just learned the death of Duncan, and therefore he killed his servants.
He was surprised when he found out about Duncan's death, and then all of a sudden he confessed to killing the servants, and that's where his story didn't work.
Okay.
Where did he kill him?
Okay, what if the servants came after him and tried to kill him and then killed himself?
What? He is not said.
You killed himself.
When?
Servants.
When? Oh, later on, after we found out that Duncan got killed by the servants? Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, but you were never told about Duncan being killed. You never left the room.
MacBeth told me.
Yes, but
when he woke up.
in the same
He
conversation.
went to wake him up. And so he went to wake him up and he came back in shock of the death.
But
And
the
then
same
he told everyone in the castle's in an uproar.
in the same conversation that you were told that Duncan was dead and that you were all surprised, you never left the room for anything, and you were still talking to the same people you confessed to having killed the servants. So how could somebody have told you about Duncan's death? And you were the one who stumbled upon the servants coming outside of the room.
So obviously you killed them before you found out of Duncan's death.
So then why did you act surprised?
What?
Why did you act surprised then when MacBeth told you about Duncan's death and you already knew that
Because
Duncan
it
was
was in
dead?
my castle.
Yes, but you already knew. You killed the servant.
Okay, sorry, everything's cut off. I'd like to announce a surprise guest, one of the second witches. Come on down. Did Lady Macbeth hire you to influence Macbeth to just say that? Did you try to influence Macbeth so he would go and kill Duncan?
No.
Okay.
Well, I saw it in my vision.
And how do we know you're not a fake? I mean.
Listen to what we're thinking.
Mine.
Yeah, that's right. I think you said it. Pretty close, but okay. Like I said, it's so secret.
Can you describe your vision? Like, the details in it?
My vision, I just thought that Macbeth was gonna be king.
And what else? Like, you must have had details. Like, how did it happen? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Why did it happen? Like, besides that he got murdered.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, is there any questions to ask?
Since you say you're a wise witch, can you tell us what kind of future you see for Macbeth as of now?
I think he's gonna be a good king.
Thank you.
Excuse me. When you told Macbeth your vision, did he have an evil gleam or evil look in his eyes when he told him he will be king?
No, he didn't. He just he was sort of shocked, I guess.
Shocked enough to kill someone?
I can tell you that.
If you are a real witch, wouldn't you know who killed Duncan?
Do you know? Do you suspect anyone?
I think you know who killed Duncan. You just don't want to say anything because someone thinks you keep quiet.
That's right.
Maybe.
Are you being secretly bribed to do all this?
Calling Vinny is wrong.
Well, if she was, I don't think she'd tell him.
I'm pretty sure Macbeth can afford it without the money he has.
Okay, last question. If anybody has a last question.
Ooh, Macbeth, the murderer.
After going over the screenplay of Rob Roy here, whenever we looked through the script, whenever we saw that it was true that Duncan, or after Duncan's murder, that's when Macbeth would kill the servants. It was not before.
Thank you.
So,
I rest my case.
where?
I know that part.
You know?
At the very end.
Wait a minute.
It's in scene 4. Act something
Okay.
That's act 2, scene 4.
Okay, this is
Very end is
the end
on
of the show.
16.